blinded me with science. Science. Thank you, Christina Aguilera.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dielectric Media Podcast. I am Doug Schlabotnik.
I'm Baldwin.
And I'm Hugh.
Today is the first of a new generation of the Dielectric Media Podcast. We no longer have Frank Allen with us. This is
bad.
very sad, but we are moving on.
I am dressed in my finest black gown.
Hopefully he'll be able to come back sometime, but as of now,
Hopefully.
he's no longer a
Participant.
participant in this project.
The Doug Schlabotnik Project.
No, it is the Dielectric Media Podcast project. If that's not a long enough project head name for it.
Dielectric Media Podcast Project.
Yes.
Sure.
So, all right. Let's kick it off.
Okay. So, theme here.
Hey
Yes,
guys, I think we should.
introduction and character development and a little bit of plot thickening
Maybe that can.
Okay, so-
conflicting.
So,
Maybe
what
that
is our
has a
topic
moment
for
in
this podcast?
Do we have to say it?
Yes.
Why?
I want to know what the topic is.
We're gonna rant some more about.
Science.
Blinded me with science. She blinded me with science.
Science.
Stand back, boys. She's dedicated herself to science.
Indeed.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh baby. Oh.
Oh, baby, baby.
Oh.
Oops, I
Did it again.
Okay.
think I'm in love.
That's like fucking it for my knowledge of Britney Spears songs. So.
Oh, well, I don't know it from Britney Spears. I know it from Children of Bodom. They did a cover of it, a metal cover, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we've been talking today a lot about different YouTube sites that are dedicated to physics and
Well, just
weird science facts of that
Because
nature.
we like that.
and mathematical facts as well.
What physics is math.
But I mean, like specifically number files.
Yeah.
That's what they call themselves.
Right, yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were talking about Numberphile and Minute Physics were the two YouTube channels. And there's a lot of fucking cool shit that they've got going on.
Dude, your mind would just explode if I could share half the things that I've dug up at 4 a.m. in the morning and I'm bored and
Yeah,
just
the
clicking on
dark side of YouTube.
shit. Yeah.
Jesus.
I've seen the bottom side of YouTube.
Let the hate.
Oh no, you haven't, man. My low brass instructor, he fucking told us that I told Doug that he found a tuba piano arrangement for "Call Me Maybe."
Seen it.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Okay, but back to that lovely topic. What was one of the things we wanted to... Oh, the fact that there are different types of infinities,
That there
Oh,
are
yes.
infinite amounts of infinities.
and some of them are more infinity than the others. Which
Doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
No,
if you
it's
have no idea what the
mind-blowing.
fuck we're
It's like-
talking about.
we can count to forever more
Twice.
than this one.
Yeah.
It's like, all
when,
right.
when you were a kid and you said, I count to infinity twice. Well, technically, you could, but at the same time, you would have to be talking about a different infinity instead of the normal, regular infinity, which sounds fucking stupid for me just to say that, because it's like, no, you don't have more color red than I have color red, because, as we all know, there are different shades of colors of red.
Right.
And in this instance, there are different infinities, like the oh crap, I'm gonna sneeze, but the negative and positive integer infinities, and that's just of the regular whole numbers. 0, -1, -1, 2, -2, and then you get into the idea of a fractional infinity, which is 1/1, 1/2, and then you have 2/1, 2/2, and then it branches out forever from one point, and it's just the way they described it was great because they had like this is infinity. It was a straight line. And then there's this type of infinity, which is a straight line, and then there's this type of infinity, which is just like a fucking square.
I need you to pull your blue filter a little bit further away, because you're like away from the mic, because you're popping quite a bit. There needs to be more space, is what I mean.
So they can't do that with a
Space.
I need gap.
filter. I guess that's a gap right there for you.
Nope.
Fuck, man, I have to lift this thing off then.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm
Welcome
talking
to
about.
the Dielectric Media Podcast, where we fix things. I can't move this away.
No, I need the actual rag. Like, I need a like. You see how there's this space here?
I can't.
Space.
You need to make that happen somehow. There you go.
Sure. Does
Spa-
that work?
That's
Do I
a
need
little
another
better.
one? Space.
Say pop.
Pop,
That's a little better.
bop, bop it,
Okay.
hit it,
Moving on.
whack it,
So
Flick it.
whack it,
another
whack it.
another thing that they talked about was if you dug a hole through the center of the earth, like what would happen if you jumped into it?
Besides, instantly becoming a pile of ash.
Yeah, when you hit the center of the earth, and
Basically
it's-
get baked.
it's pretty warm.
You wouldn't get
Little
baked. It
warm.
would just be like, and you would see a poof just come out of your corpse.
Well, and I guess another way you think about it, you don't spend very long there though, because
No.
if you're going through there in a vacuum, you're just like whoop, and you're just already past.
Well,
it,
except for when you get to the, you turn that upside down because you're going straight, and if you can imagine that ball turning as you're going down, and you're suddenly like this, so you're standing at an eventual point. I mean, it's going to be at the center. So if there was no,
Good thing you made a visual for a.
well,
Yeah.
I had
An
to
audio
that's
only.
the way-
Handles do a lot of
That's
good
the way I
now.
said.
That's all
if
I
you
can
can
think about is
imagine a
that no one
ball-
has a fucking clue what your hands are doing
That's what
right
I said.
now.
If I can
We'll have to
imagine, if I can
include some
visualize myself
captions.
doing
If
it,
I could,
then the
if I could
people
visualize a
watching
ball
this-
like this ball that I have in front of me right now, and then I do this
like my
with it,
hands.
I want you to just imagine this that I'm doing with the ball.
You know what? If Bob Ross was doing this, he could help you imagine the fucking skyscraper.
But Bob Ross wasn't doing an audio-only podcast.
he could, and it'd still be the best goddamn painting you'd ever fucking
He'd do
see.
it. He could do a do-it-yourself, paint along podcast, and you'd
He
be able
could
to
do it
paint a
in
pretty
sign
damn good
language
picture.
over the podcast, and you would still see that fucking painting in your mind. All you'd hear is like the number just. It's like, oh, he just painted clouds. Yeah.
And I bet using a micro or a Neumann mic as well, you could hear every single brushstroke, and then his little enthusiastic like dip, dip, and then just like on the easel
I bet
leg.
that popped.
yeah, but Jesus, so far off the beaten
Path.
science.
Science.
Of science.
Science! Damn you, science!
And no, Bill Nye is not dead. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Who the fuck thought that? I kind of want to go beat the piss out of him. Like when, sorry about that. When you tricked him into thinking that Phil Collins was dead.
Oh, yeah, I found a YouTube video that
Yeah.
said Phil Collins was dead, and I put it on his Facebook page back in the day. And
Freaked him the
He
fuck
freaked
out.
and he was like, "What? No."
I saw the Bill Nye thing on Facebook. I was like, "What? No, wait."
Yeah, I looked
and
it up.
And I dug it up, and it's just like, no. Just
Well, you know why
creationists
people do
are
that?
just pissed
Yeah, I was
at
gonna
him. So they're
say.
just like, they want him dead, and so if they just say he's dead and post it on
Yeah.
Facebook, enough
It
idiots
must
will
be
believe that
real.
he's
What was that?
actually
Was
dead.
it Big Think? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah. Big Think. They get a lot of like famous physicists and psychologists, and
I
they-
personally believe everything that Bill Nye said was logical and made a point and was incredibly valid. But I know there's that group of folk who are incredibly like the instant I saw that I was like, "Oh shit is going to go down."
well,
You know?
just because you watched that documentary that talked about creationism in the South, right? Have you seen that?
What's it called?
Well, it's a part of a documentary. It's not a whole it's not a whole dedicated documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was about I think it was a school in Georgia, I want to say, that was trying to get the creationist version of science in the fucking books at school. And everybody who came up to the microphone, they presented it to the Board of Education there in Georgia. They said everybody that came up there was like, well, we have to share our point of view. It's only right. I mean, fuck every other point of view, which is really what they were saying, because they only want their point of view.
Right,
shown.
and I mean we've talked about this before, but I mean if you teach creationism, then you have to teach every single religion's version of how
Exactly.
the world began, and that's just not feasible. I mean what
Because you would
do,
have to include Westboro Baptist.
right, but I mean what you have to do is you have to teach the most academically acceptable version. I mean you cannot put religion into public schools. You just
No.
can't.
And
If you want your kid to learn that stuff, pay the money, send them to private school.
well, and even then, when you say that though, when religion can't be in school, then people start to freak out because then it suddenly becomes this-
pray before the
Yeah.
football game.
well,
to make
it's not
sure
that.
Jesus
It's like
is on
we
our
can't
side.
say in God and Pledge of Allegiance, and it's like no, fucking who cares if you can say that? Nobody does.
At my old school, before I moved here, we said the Pledge of Allegiance every day, and I did not. Like, the under God meant nothing to
Yeah.
me. Like, all I was doing was saying some
Kids
shit.
just spout it, and they don't
care what it
it's
means.
nothing to them. It
And if you
doesn't mean
if you don't
anything.
follow those rules, then the teacher comes over and gives you detention for not saying the Pledge of
Right.
Allegiance.
And then I moved here, and what did we do it like once
did
a
it-
week?
yeah, we did it on Monday, and then I think at
It
7th or
kinda
8th grade we
disappeared
stopped
at one
doing it.
point.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know why, but
because it was pointless.
Well, because
It's
that's about
pointless.
when we were in 7th or 8th grade. That was when stuff started getting political about it.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That's when
true.
that's when a lot of parents were starting to become the asshole parents that they are now, where my child is learning something that I don't want him to learn. So instead of letting them provide themselves with their own feasible way of learning something crazy that a student can do that, instead I'm going to tell them that they can't learn it. Like that oatmeal comic. My favorite color is purple. No, it's green. But I hate green. No, it's and it just freaks out on the daughter.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there. That's all it is.
Yeah,
When it comes to
science.
Science. Well, we're talking. It's an offshoot of a science topic.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and it's not. That's the thing, though. I'm going to become a music teacher, and you know how much this is going to affect me? A lot. And at the same time,
Well, that's like
I'm not going to care.
there's a
about
lot
it.
of music that is religion based,
Mhm.
and like my grandparents always got pissed off when for like choir we would sing these Latin songs that
Deus Amunito Dei.
yeah,
or shit
well,
like
everything's
that.
all about Jesus and God and shit. And, my grandparents were like, well, that's just bad. You can't have that in school, and they're fucking a half hour long, and we don't understand a word of it.
It's because it's Latin.
Yeah.
It's like kind of to offshoot real quick. When the last time the fine arts music department went over to Scotland, the choir department was like, we should sing Loch Lomond. No, you shouldn't. No, because guess how many people when they go visit Scotland sing that song?
Everybody.
Everyone.
How does that one go?
You take the high road and I take the low road, and I'll take the high road and you'll take the low road.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? It's kind of a weird, fucked up song.
It's like
but-
going to Ireland and singing, "Oh, Danny boy,
Jesus.
the pipes are calling."
and nobody likes it. But anyways,
From Glen to Glen. I don't
anyways,
remember the rest of the song.
Should get back on topic. But no,
No.
I mean, when-
Topic.
when it comes down to creationism in schools, it's not needed. And yeah, if you're a parent out there and you're like, well, but they should provide my child with options. It's like they do. But
the
you know what?
option, you get one option. It's learn something that makes fucking sense.
Well, no, to
Some
somebody.
bearded guy in the sky decided to shit out a planet with 2 people on it, and then he let the people name the critters. Yeah.
He'll be named a Swallow. Adam and Steve. Yeah, look, Robot Chicken sketch. Anyways, no, I think of the Jim Jeffries joke when he's like, there's evolution, which is, man came from the sea and then he turned into a monkey and then there was, all this thunder and lightning and fire and then there were people. And then you have the creationist version where it's like God put 2 white people in the middle of a jungle and they got frisky and they ate an apple and then started having sex and then they
And then a
created
lot
the
of
Native
incest
Americans
happened,
and the
then-
blacks and although through all the inbreeding, very few retards. And he just fucking screams it. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah. Back.
You know,
Anyways.
something interesting, like somewhat original topic related. I have a fiddling device because I fiddle, and I figured out
The devil in Downer, Georgia.
I figured out a
fiddle.
little trick with optics and your eyes. If you look at something that you hold in your hand at yay distance from your eye,
Wait.
And you
You're
point it-
gonna want to need to describe that.
you're looking at something that you're holding in your hand, yay high from your or yay distance from your eye. Like, we'll say 2 feet.
Yeah,
Arm's length.
Arm's length, pretty much.
Yeah, about arm's length. And if you close one eye and you point it at that one eye, you'll only see the top of it. But if you open the other eye, you'll see the side of it as well.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a mindfuck because you think about it and it's just like, well, so if you hold it in the middle between both of
Both
your
eyes.
eyes and not point it at one eye, then you can see both sides of the same object.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird to think about that you can see both sides of the object at the same time. Is
Well,
what
that's
I'm
if-
saying.
If
It's
the
like
object
seeing the
is
front
small
and the
enough,
back
though.
of the square when you're looking at the front.
Well, that's if the object is small enough, though. Because obviously not with every object, unless your eyes are like fucking like outbranched from your head.
Yeah,
You know,
I
but-
have my eyes are on stalks.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like that. You know, I thought
like a
about,
hammerhead shark.
Oh yeah.
Or like horses. Or like
horses.
Horses don't have
Chameleon.
eyes on stalks.
well, they're
I was gonna
That'd be
say.
some fucked
What,
up horses.
what horse have
Holy
you ridden,
shit.
man? That would be fucking awesome.
what I'm saying there is they're on opposite sides of their head.
But you know, I get what optical illusion you're kind of thinking of. It's like you put the paper roll right next to your hand,
The paper
and then
roll,
you're
yeah.
what is it? Don't you
I
like
kept it
close your?
generic.
I can't remember how the trick is done, but you put your hand a certain distance away and you kind of stare right through it, and then I can't remember how this goes, but you eventually see the hole through your hand.
What?
And- yeah,
Yeah.
have you never heard of that? Where it's I don't remember how the trick is formed, but there's like a certain point where you stare at these 2 objects side by side, and there's a certain point where your eyes no longer can focus and they meld into each other.
That's weird.
I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's like the 2 gray squares with the shadow over one of them,
Oh yeah.
and they're the same color. I shit you not. Like, I've tried to train my brain to be able to look at that and keep that fucking square the same color. It can't. Your brain is so hardwired to just go, this square is this color no matter what, and then shadow, it's a different color, and your brain goes, okay. You know, it's like the picture I put up. It was this guy who made X-Men shit. Like, he made Cyclops with a bunch of red laser pointers. It was bad. And at the end
I
of
think
it,
I've seen a picture of that.
it has the meme where the guy's like, did it. And it's like just
Genius.
genius.
Yeah, genius meme, just like genius.
Oh, it's so fucking brilliant. I'll show you the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
God, it's so funny.
On topic again.
Yeah.
Something that I saw recently that really blew my mind was a guy that talked about how if you're taller, you actually live more in the past than a shorter person would. Now, the reasoning for this is because the
You
amount
could
of
get the
time
shit off the top shelf.
the amount of time it takes time for your neurons to transmit
Oh.
information.
Yeah, so like you poke yourself in the foot and you get that time a little later than a shorter person
Yep.
would because it's got
So-
a further distance to travel to get to your brain.
So if you
Oh,
tap
yeah.
your hand or
Yeah.
shoulder as opposed to your toe, you're going to know about your toe later. So if you poked both of them at the same time, you'd feel like your toe would get poked later.
But that's actually you'd feel like it happened at the same time because your brain waits for both of them to get there and then it matches it up and goes, all right, yep, looks like it happened at the same time. Bam.
Yeah.
then it feels like you got poked. So it actually happens even later when something like that happens because it processes it. And so you poke here and here, feels simultaneous. Every time you do it, it feels like it's happening at the same time. You're poking the cheek and the knee, and it feels like it's happening at the same time, but it's not. I mean,
If
you're
you did
not.
that in public, you'd look like you were having a mental breakdown.
Well, you're not.
Why?
It's impossible to feel them at the same time,
Yeah.
but your brain like stops it and goes, "Hold on a second, wait, okay, the math's right. It happened at the same time. Now you can feel it."
It's kind of like that.
I proclaim it.
Yeah,
it's like
that's pretty much
the
what
pain
happened.
thing, where if you hurt a certain part of your body and then you hurt another certain part of your body, that pain is received. Like the pain, like say you broke your toe, your big toe, and then you broke your ring finger like 5 seconds later, that big toe pain would disappear until you hurt it again.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to think
But,
about because it's just something your body has to do.
But Vsauce talked about that living in the past thing.
Yeah.
And how it's like an 80 millisecond delay.
Yeah, it's like an 80 millisecond reaction time. And then where that gets really weird is if you do tests where you have someone clicking a button that turns on a light.
Yes.
And then
yeah.
the length of wire they have calculated out so that the electricity that goes from the button to the light takes more than 80 milliseconds at first. And then so you're clicking it, and then this light looks like it's coming on at the right time, but then you shorten the wire. So
Right.
it takes less than 80 milliseconds
Like 40
for the light to
milliseconds.
turn on. And then you freak out because it looks like the light turns on before you push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're sitting in traffic and you see a bunch of blinkers going, and then you see the blinkers match up, and then all of a sudden it's like blink, 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 and then that time shortens again, and then eventually they'll be right with each other, and then they'll get off, and your mind just goes, "Why?" Like
Phasing.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, phasing.
it's
yeah.
so bad.
Yep.
Indeed.
That's actually with audio there's a lot of phasing things that can happen because if you have a 90-degree phase, or is it 90 or 180? I don't remember. If the phase shift is either 90 or 180, or it's just reversed phase.
Jesus,
basically.
man.
then you it totally cancels out the sound. So if you have one microphone that is just standard, like no attachments on it, and then you put a phase reverser on the other one, and you talk into both of them, no sound comes out the speaker because it just totally cancels everything
Yeah.
out. Because it's basically like a brick wall to itself.
So it kind of.
yeah, well,
I was just gonna say, like, an example would be like if the red and green light came on at a stoplight, you
Yeah.
wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Right. Well, it's like
what I was going to say is like you can think about it as like stones being dropped in water. You have something that's going to drop stones at like a constant rate on one side, and then you have stones being dropped at a constant rate on the other side. And then so these stones dropping are going to be making these waves in the water, right? But then if you make these stones drop at complete opposite intervals, then there is going to be some point in between where you're dropping those two where the water is absolutely perfectly calm.
right.
God.
Right, because
How long would that
the
take?
waves just all go
Because the
Done.
troughs match with the crests
right.
and they cancel out.
Yeah, but how long would that take though? Is
It's-
it
it's
just
instant.
random every time?
First wave.
First wave?
Yep.
Would it happen again though?
Oh, it keeps happening.
Well, yeah, you'd have to time it right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all timing.
Right down to the last fucking GIF.
GIF.
GIF is like a millionth of a
GIF.
second.
Wow.
What?
You never heard that?
No.
No.
Yeah, I got bored one day a long time ago.
And you looked up like
the word Jiffy, and it's
there
is
in
no
a
Jiffy.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you were talking about the fucking like Flash video file thing.
Oh no,
GIF.
no,
Yeah.
no, GIF, GIFF.
Okay.
You know, like when people say they'll be done.
I'll
in
be
a
there in a
Jiffy.
jiffy.
Yeah, it's GIF.
A GIF,
and
yeah, a jiffy
GIF is a millionth of a
unit
second.
of it's like a predetermined unit of time,
Yeah.
like a second.
That's cool. Well, what's the smallest? Is Planck time? Is the smallest? Like,
I don't remember.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the Planck time is the smallest unit of measure for time, and they use it to measure the earliest moments of the universe,
Mhm.
because so much happened in so small amounts of time that there wasn't actually a feasible measuring device for it. Like the smallest thing we had was huge in comparison to the Planck time.
Ooh, can I talk about something crazy?
Absolutely.
If
Oh,
it's
well,
dealing with science.
Absolutely. So when you look up and when you see like pictures of the sky and you see like photographs of deep space and you see all that empty space in between all the other shit that's in that picture, there's actually shit that's out there further. But the point is that we'll never be able to see it because the time that was created hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah.
And so what happens is
Right.
the creation of the universe has not happened yet for as long as how it's taken to get here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you're looking at a point so far in the past that the universe hasn't even been created yet.
Well, that's what they when what we talked about earlier before we did this. When I talked about the time of the universe versus the time of our galaxy, I was telling him this after I watched the video. Is like our universe versus our galaxy. Our galaxy, time once it finishes, it restarts, and our galaxy is continuously going. So right now we're having this conversation like a billion other times. This conversation infinitely happens.
Oh, I talked to you about that. The multiverse theory.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
multiverses.
The multiverse theory has kind of a slight.
A backdoor problem.
Well, it's like a paradox flaw.
Yeah, you
So-
told me about this.
So the multiverse theory is that there is millions of universes, each one.
There's a universe for every universe.
Yeah, and each one's slightly different than the other, and there's an infinite combination where everything is possible.
So
right?
in one of these universes, you have banged his mom.
Yes. But in one of these universes, the multiverse theory is incorrect.
Because it's
Yeah.
a different one.
well,
yeah.
it doesn't exist.
So in one of the multiverses, there is no multiverses.
Yeah. I mean, kind of
Wrap that one around your brain, log.
Well, you really want to freak yourself out. It's a DC comic movie with Batman and Superman. I don't remember what the exact one's called. It came out just a couple years ago, and it talks about the multiverse theory and the Justice League, and it's an evil Justice League, and the evil Batman is played by James Woods. So it's actually pretty kick-ass.
James Woods.
They discover the multiverses, and they actually discover the evil Batman is trying to find the original Earth Prime, that started everything, and he finds it, and he wants to blow it up, because if you destroy that universe, every other universe stops happening. Because for the multiverse theory to exist,
Why would he want to do that? Because then he'd
because-
stop happening.
well, yeah, that was the whole point. It was a mad fucking it was really dark. This movie was really fucking dark. Like they make the Nega Flash, the evil Flash, age himself incredibly to the point that he turns into a pile of bones.
Okay.
Can I take a really awesome nerdy tangent there? They made a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles about the same thing.
Yeah.
With it was the Shredder was trying to go back in, well, you could almost call them dimensions or universes, but it was they talked about it in a way that you could comprehend as comic strip eras of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Really?
Yeah.
And then so he traveled back to the prime or the original sketches of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they made an entire Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie out of this thing happening.
That's cool.
This
It was the third
Shredder
one,
guy,
wasn't it?
Shredder Prime, coming back, and he wanted to exterminate the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then so they went all the way back, and then
Yeah.
it was just all of this. It was pretty interesting thought.
think I have
Totally
that one.
reminded me with the it's a minute physics thing where he talks about dimensions. And they're so bizarre. I'd never really gotten that depth.
Yeah, like the
in
10th
depth.
dimension.
Well, no.
video.
They're basically what's going on is that all of the dimensions are the same. So there is no first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. They are all the same, just
in a different perspective.
in a
you're
different
saying?
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
Okay.
is no up and down and left and right dimension. They're all the same. It
It's
just
a
depends
straight
on
line, just
orientation.
looked at differently.
Right. We add that orientation to it. They're always they're exactly the same. So it's the way he
Yeah.
described it.
So the 3D space dimension is just like a point, or is it?
It's this is the way he described it. He described you have 3 glasses of water and you put them into a jug. Which one's the first glass of water you put into the jug?
Well, shit.
yeah.
That's kind of just what I was
Fuck
saying,
that.
though. It's
Yeah.
just like 3 space is just a point.
yeah. So yeah, it's you have those 3 glasses of water in
Damn
there
it.
and you cannot distinguish between the 3, but there's the dimension of time, which would be like pouring oil
Oh.
onto the water. So
okay.
you can distinguish that one, but the other ones are all spatial,
Shit.
which means they're the same. Yeah, that like when I saw that I was like, "Oh, I can't find the first glass of water. Oh, yeah, what the fuck? That's weird."
Wow.
Yeah, but seriously, it's like you pour 3 glasses of water in and it's like, "All right, find the first glass of water." And you're like, "Oh, well, fuck you, asshole." No.
Well, you'd have
I
to go
don't
to a
want to.
molecular level, and even then, water's water. Once you combine it together,
Well,
it's
yeah,
water.
that then you get into the there is no destruction of information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but water doesn't know it's being poured into a glass. It knows that it's
Well,
being
if you
poured
went
in-
into the molecular level, you could find every molecule from the first cup of water.
Yeah,
How do you
well-
be able to distinguish it if it came from the same source?
Yeah. If it all came,
I'm saying
like,
that it's
if it was
possible,
tap water,
but we
bottled
can't
water,
do
and
it because we
purified
are
water.
stupid humans.
And we
Well,
don't
yeah.
know jack shit.
And
yet.
we don't know jack shit.
well, like
Oh, and that was another thing that they talked about was that all electrons are exactly the same. All proton or photons are exactly the same,
well, they just have different charges.
but that doesn't mean anything. It's basically like saying that well, because there's no real difference from electron to electron. So you can't really distinguish
It's the same
anything.
particle you're saying.
Yeah. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like there's only one electron and we're all sharing it. You know, which might be fucking true.
It's fine,
No one
Alec,
really
don't
knows.
worry about it.
What do you think? It's stopped?
No, I just the time.
You,
Have to watch the time.
you.
There's no me. There's only Zool.
Since we're all in this water jug of existence, it's all the
We
same,
are
I
the
guess.
3 glasses swimming in the same
Yeah.
jug.
That's like a fucking like I should be
That
wearing
is
a
mind
beret
fuck. It is just,
and I should
oh,
have a
God.
little bongo drum going. Brrr, we are all glasses in the same jug.
We are all droplets of water in the sea of life.
We are all grains of sand. Like the Beatles off of
Oh
fucking
God,
Walk
we've
Hard.
made a hippie circle. Yeah.
Oh God, there's a drum circle.
Drum circle.
Oh God, I don't know if we're gonna make it through the drum circle.
If
The
the
drum
3
circle.
circles get wide enough, they'll eventually turn into one giant mega circle.
Love that South Park. But
Freaking tank and just plow through.
Yeah, because they were making
Wow,
fun of
dude.
Core.
The Core,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Core.
the Core
Yeah.
was a really weird movie.
It
and
was
it
cool.
made no
I liked
sense.
it. I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
I'll have to watch that sometime.
It was interesting, but somebody like you watching it is
It
probably not a
will
good
like
idea.
rape your brain and piss you off at the same time because
Yeah,
they're going to
probably.
the center of the Earth, boring with lasers.
yes, lasers that can pierce through diamond.
No, they couldn't go through Diamond
Oh yeah, that's right.
because Diamond would show up as black, and then they just hit it and it would be bad.
And then they had to somehow like center the Earth it down, like just
Right.
find hidden pockets of air because we can do that.
Well, yeah, that was one thing that happened was like they didn't the machine that they had to detect what was in front of them didn't have like a color for empty space, so it just showed up as static. And then so
And then
they
they
ended up
shot
falling
through.
into the
Yeah.
big giant empty chasm.
And,
Minecraft.
and then
Yeah.
like they tried
It's like
to
they
reset.
hit the nether.
Well, the whole thing about it is they're trying to restart the Earth's
Right, because the
core
core
with bombs.
with nukes. Yeah,
yeah,
the core stopped for whatever reason.
They explain it very shortly at the beginning, and it involves an orange and a blowtorch. I
Yeah.
love that. That's like
No,
a bad
that
sex
wasn't
act.
explaining what happened. That was explaining what would happen without our magnetic field.
Oh yeah.
is that we would just
I guess
get burnt off.
If the, I
That would
guess-
suck.
Yeah, not having a magnetic field basically equals no one exists
Screw
anymore.
gravity.
Because cosmic rays would, yeah.
Yeah, we'd all have to live underground, which wouldn't
we
work
could.
because there wouldn't be any plants or anything, to grow stuff or eat, and then we'd be dead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The movie has a weird plot and it has a weird way of explaining things.
And the black guy dies in the most awesome way.
That a black guy can die.
There's one part
Or
of the
just that
movie where
any guy can die.
the one white guy just gets like a piece of magma shoot right through him.
No, it wasn't magma. It was like the whole room was basically a
Diamonds.
no, it wasn't diamonds. It was what are the geodes? Is that what those things are called?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that have the
They have
crystally
quartz
shit.
in them.
Yeah, it was basically they were in the core of a giant geode. And so
And it
the
was
roof was
super
all really spiky shit.
Oh.
So it would one of them fell down and just fucking she died. The guy died like Cat died
It shot
by
through
a
him.
needler.
Yeah. Well, it was just it pierced him and shot right through like a penny off the Empire State
Yeah,
Building.
just like dead.
Yeah. And then he falls into the magma and
We got to get pictures of descriptions, descriptive actions.
That
It's
will
like,
be the job of
Dr. Baldwin.
PhD, bitch.
Dr. Baldwin, PhD.
Dr. Baldwin.
As if it's that's
I kicked
basically
down
like
the
saying
door.
Dr. Baldwin, doctor.
Dr. Baldwin, doctor.
Dr.
Doc-
What am I a doctor of? I'm
Doctor?
a doctor of being a doctor.
Doctor. Hello, doctor. Doctor. Doctor.
Doctor.
It's like being in a bad Abbott Costello joke. Oh, there's a new song out. By who? Exactly. Oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll have to show you that video.
No, what that wasn't by who. It was
It was by Patton Oswalt.
no. But the joke, it wasn't by who. It was there's
There's a new song out. By who? Exactly.
yeah,
'Cause
because new
the-
song was the name.
The name of the band. Yeah. Where are you going? I think you're thinking of the other one where who's on
The
first base.
No, you reminded me of because that's one of the reasons why the Who named their band. It's like
Oh yeah. Who are you guys? Exactly.
the Who.
Yeah, but new song is blatant.
Yeah.
It's very asinine. Oh shit.
Fiddler.
No, I won't.
Fiddler found something.
He's
Fiddler
the
on
fiddler
the
on the
roof.
couch.
We should
You're
remake.
fiddling. Look at you.
No.
He's
you're
gonna blow
fiddling.
his nose. There's there's utilitarian using that shit.
There's a wide difference between if I was going like this to
Which
my
you were. Which I might add, you were.
No, it wasn't.
And then he brought
You're
it to his schnoz and expelled.
yeah, I'm
the
trying to get
goopus
rid of
out
the
of it.
nasty shit that's
and
in
then
my nose.
all of our audience had to hear all of that right in front of the
Exactly.
mic.
Inappropriate.
This is so very intelligent and scientific. I would just like to
Oh,
point
yes.
that out.
We're blinding them with science.
blinded me with
Science.
Science.
Nah, but
Yeah, but
thank you, Christina Aguilera.
You need to bathe.
she's fat
Seriously.
now. She is fat.
Fat?
Cares, dude. Okay, fat in the female realm is skinny in the guy realm. Okay,
Yes.
understand that.
Well-
185 on a chick is not bad. 285 on a chick, however, wow, somebody
Is
ate her.
terrifying. Yeah. Unless
No,
she's
but
like
it's like-
6 foot tall.
No.
Why I say that in the way it is that she continues to pretend that she was that 100-pound girl and still try to
Oh.
perform in really tight things that look like a whale shoved into a
Kind of like somebody was trying to plastic wrap a bag of meat, and that's what it looks like.
yeah
Like
yeah.
I'm
Shrink
going
wrap
I'm
kinda
going to
thing,
shrink
yeah.
wrap. Yeah, instead of 2 pounds of meat, 5 pounds of meat, and it's all going to ooze out of the side.
kind of yeah.
Me and spandex, basically, just it's like it's the blob, shit like that. So
Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and sweeps and slides across the floor. Sorry, I
fuck are
worked
you
at
talking
at
about?
Bow's Pumpkin Patch, and that was one of the songs that played
Wow.
while I was in Graveyard Golf, and it got just
I remember
beat
that.
into my brain.
I remember going to that shit.
Graveyard
I got
golfing
rid
it
of
up.
it.
When
It's just, oh god, I
It's
just can't even think
bad.
of it. It's just like, It's like where they shove employees that they know can't handle anything else. And at the time, I was like 14, 15, like not even like real job worthy age.
Hy-Vee's
So-
still beat into your head. I mean, they'd have the same fucking commercials on those goddamn TVs around the store. And if you worked in one of the cashiers near the fucking front of the store, like in cashier 1 or 2, they had that TV right there, and it would play the exact same 3 fucking commercials. Like,
have you ever been to seen a Walmart where they have those TVs at the end of the aisles that have advertisements for shit that's inside of the aisles?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I worked at a Walmart for like 2 weeks. And
2 whole weeks.
and 2 weeks worth of one commercial playing every fucking 10 seconds.
4 years. You ain't got shit.
You at least had 3. There was just one, and it would just
You
keep
have
going.
no
and
idea.
Keep going. And
No,
keep
the
going.
perpetual hell, like purgatory is just Hy-Vee. Either that or Menards, man. I was in Menards with my parents this summer because we were spicing up our patio after
Spicing it.
tearing it down. Well,
Oregano.
wow. Anyways, we're in there, and 15 minutes of being in there, the Menards song had come on at least 100 times. Big money at Menards. And I'm just like, I asked one of the cashiers, we got up to the front, and I'm just like, so have you ever thought about committing suicide in the middle of work? And he just kind of looks at me with like this questionable look. Like, how many times a day do you hear this Menards song? It's like, dude, after a while, it's nothing. You just hear air. And I'm like, God, that is sad. That is selective hearing to the max. When you hear nothing when something is playing. That is a scary thought. That is like Twilight Zone. There's a fucking light shining on a person not there, and it's just what? And there's a shadow behind nothing, and you're just what? Like that's how fucking thought provoking that was.
For a while in homeroom, I didn't hear you.
That's because Nick Gramick and I were
because you would start things with Gramlich or the Kalashek chick.
No, she fucking started shit on him.
Regardless of how it started, it would
Neener,
happen.
neener. Now we're just totally off topic.
Mandy and
We're at
Morgan.
42 minutes.
That's fine. We got 3 more minutes.
Science.
So,
Fine.
a 3-minute topic of science. All right, what are we going to do?
Well, we
Where's
just-
NASA going?
To Mars?
Are they going to do the robot chicken thing and get $1 for their funding and
No,
send monkeys
future-wise.
on
Yeah, that's what I'm funding. Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Well,
Nothing.
They landed on Mars. So
No, it's not Mars. Have you heard the new bullshit theory? It's somewhere in the middle of Nevada. Yeah, have you not heard that? They didn't actually send this space probe to Mars. It's actually in the middle of Nevada. Really? Because you don't think people would have noticed that? Something falling out of the sky?
Like some
Hey,
guy
what's
camping.
that SUV-sized thing roaming around digging?
Jesus.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm going to get real close to it and poke around and see what it's up to. Oh, wait. It's radioactive. Yeah.
Like,
Damn it.
seriously.
And it has a giant laser on top that can dig into rock. So do you think it could frickin' fry your brain open?
But that's the thing. I mean, it's that whole bullshit theory. It's like,
It's
why?
a self-defense device against green
Oh,
men.
that is one thing I did because Neil Armstrong died,
Yeah.
and the first man on the moon.
Yeah.
And yet
that's-
people still think it's Louis Armstrong who died.
no, the fucking NBC said that Neil Young died.
Wow.
It was like, oh no, not Neil Young,
Not
like Neil
Neil-
Armstrong.
well, I
Oh,
wouldn't
that's-
care about Neil Young.
Oh, well, that's much
That's
more
different.
moving.
Yeah, and then they talked about all the moon bullshit and
Yeah,
there's
my-
the camera that's 4 feet off the... Who fucking cares? God, it was a race to space, and we won whether we did it or not. Who fucking cares?
What was the
Honestly.
first president to make a phone call from the White House to the moon?
Well, I'd say,
Ooh.
Jesus, Lyndon.
Nope.
I just don't know my
Eisenhower?
presidents that well.
Nope.
Is it between those two? Is it
JFK?
Kennedy?
Nope.
Nixon.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
was like, I
Nixon.
That was
Do you
Maybe
want
the
me to
next
go
guess.
over the
Nixon
last 10
called-
presidents?
called the moon from the White House. Could you imagine that?
Excuse
It's
me
like,
while I call the moon.
Well,
yeah,
there's a Doctor-
seriously.
There's a Doctor Who episode about that. It's pretty badass.
Just like Obama getting on Reddit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just personally
Seems
find
nice.
that
But no,
amusing. Just like sitting there, like sitting in the Oval Office, just chuckling, just just like reading the comments of
I
like,
challenge the
solving-
president to get on 4chan.
Oh,
Then we will
God.
see who's got the balls.
yeah, 4chan.
All right, we're out of
There's a lot
time.
'em.
This has been a Dielectric Media Podcast, Mark II. I
Should I put that up?
am Doug Schlabotnik.
I'm Baldwin.
and I'm Hugh.
And I would just like to say, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye, folks.
Blinded me with science.